Welcome to the Checkout Point, your quick dive into this week's e-commerce buzz with me, Alex, powered by Blicket. These 20 minutes pack the latest trends, news, and insights. Let's navigate the digital marketplace together. Ready? Let's go!
Hello and welcome to the Checkout Point, your go-to spot for the latest in e-commerce news and trends. Powered by Blicket.co and guided by your host, Max, we're diving into the heart of the online marketplace every week. This is episode 21, and today we've got a lineup of segments that will help you stay ahead in the ever-evolving world of e-commerce. First up, we're delving into the world of major online marketplaces, where the rules are changing for small business owners. With new policies at Amazon and Mercari, we're set to explore how these adjustments could significantly affect the quality of products and the economic stability of the men and women behind these businesses. Then, we'll dive into the backbone of every online transaction, the financial frameworks that make our digital purchases smooth and secure. We'll look at how companies like Mastercard are tackling the complexities behind chargebacks and how Avalara is ensuring that every transaction is taxed correctly. Up next, don't miss our deep dive into how economic trends are impacting an unlikely player, the United States Postal Service. We'll discuss how shifts in the economy are mirrored in the USPS's strategies and what this means for future forecasts and businesses nationwide. Followed later by a peek behind the digital curtain where AI and machine learning are not just participating but actively shaping our online interactions. From smarter web crawlers to innovative content creation tools, get ready to explore the digital frontier's new age, and there's more in store. We'll also take a closer, critical look at how Google's latest decisions and technological advancements could redefine how we interact with the web and influence the landscape of digital content. All these segments and more await you today, so make sure to stay tuned as we peel back the layers of these complex topics. Here at the Checkout Point, we're all about giving you the insights you need to thrive in the bustling world of e-commerce. Let's get started. Imagine you're a small business owner, your dream turned into reality, selling handcrafted lamps on an e-commerce giant like Amazon. It's going great. But then, a new twist. Starting June 1st, Amazon decides to expand its penalty fee policy for products with high return rates. On the flip side, think about Mercari, another popular marketplace, pulling back on its rent-a-center returns policy, easing the conditions a bit. Suddenly, the landscape where small businesses like yours operate is shifting, almost beneath your feet. Why do these changes matter, you ask? Well, let's unpack this a bit. Starting with Amazon, a household name, right? By imposing higher penalties on returns, they're essentially sending a strong signal. They want to discourage the sale of products that don't meet customer expectations or that could be susceptible to easy returns. But here's the catch. While this policy could push sellers to maintain higher quality standards, it might also strain smaller businesses or newcomers who are still finding their footing. These sellers might find themselves wrestling with not just logistics and customer service, but also potential financial setbacks due to increased fees. Now, flipping over to Mercari, think about being a first-time seller, excited yet nervous, and you hear that a return policy you relied on for safety isn't as strict as before. It might sound like a small tweak, but it's significant. By easing up on their returns policy, Mercari might be trying to create a more forgiving environment for both buyers and sellers. This can be particularly empowering for newer or smaller sellers who are more vulnerable to the impact of returns. This ebb and flow in marketplace policies isn't just routine updates. It's a reflection of a larger battle to balance customer satisfaction with seller protection. As these platforms evolve, the ripple effects touch everyone involved, from the solo entrepreneur to the holiday shopper looking for a deal. And here's where it gets theoretical. What if these policy changes are just the beginning? Could we see a future where e-commerce becomes even more regulated, prioritizing a sustainable model of business that supports growth and maintains consumer rights? Or might there be a push towards a more laissez-faire system, where the market dictates its own rules, possibly making it trickier for smaller entities to compete? For the passionate seller or the curious buyer, these changes represent more than just policy updates. They stand as a call to action, to adapt, to anticipate, and to navigate the dynamic waters of e-commerce with both caution and creativity. Your voice in this landscape matters more than ever. As policies shift, what experiences have you had? How do you think e-commerce sites can create fair policies that protect both buyers and sellers? The vast world of online selling and buying is ever-changing, and understanding these twists and turns not only helps in making better decisions, but also in shaping a marketplace where everyone can thrive. Have you ever wondered about what happens behind the scenes every time you swipe your credit card or make an online purchase? Today, we're diving into a world that might seem all about numbers and policies, but is incredibly vital to our everyday shopping experiences. It's the sphere of financial transactions and regulations, specifically focusing on the intriguing roles companies like Mastercard and Avalara play in making these processes smoother and more reliable. First up, let's unpack a serious challenge in the world of banking and shopping: chargebacks. A chargeback happens when a transaction is reversed. Think of it as a financial oops button, mostly pressed due to fraud or dissatisfaction with a purchase. Now, while this sounds like a convenient safety feature for consumers like you and me, it's a significant pain for merchants and banks. Why? Because it involves a ton of paperwork, disputes, and lost money. Here's where Mastercard steps in, a familiar name that's taken up arms against the chaos of chargebacks. Mastercard is working tirelessly to streamline how these chargebacks are handled. By implementing smarter technology and clearer rules, they aim to reduce unnecessary losses and disputes. This not only makes the process less of a headache for retailers, but also ensures that we, the shoppers, have a smoother and more trustworthy relationship with our purchases. Imagine buying something online, being unsatisfied, and being able to resolve the issue swiftly without multiple phone calls or emails. That's the kind of change Mastercard is pushing towards. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk taxes. No groans, please, because this is about how taxes are handled on your online purchases, and it's quite fascinating. With the boom in e-commerce, tracking and applying taxes correctly has become a colossal task. Enter Avalara, a company that's carving a niche for itself in the global market. Avalara has partnered with Shopify, which is a platform many of your favorite online stores use to sell their goods. This partnership aims to manage something called tax compliance. In simpler terms, Avalara helps ensure that every item you buy calculates the correct amount of tax, depending on where you are in the world and what you're buying. It's like having a super smart calculator that knows all the tax laws, so that businesses don't have to worry about it. Both Mastercard's and Avalara's initiatives are about making sure that when you buy that cool new gadget or the latest trendy sneakers, the financial side of things rolls out smoothly, legally, and fairly. It's truly fascinating to see how much work goes into safeguarding and optimizing these processes that so easily blend into the background of our shopping carts. So the next time you make a purchase and effortlessly move through checkout, know that there's a whole sophisticated world of technology and regulation ensuring your transaction is secure, accurate, and fair. It's an invisible but incredible network, working round the clock just for us. Now, isn't that something to think about during your next shopping spree? Today, we're diving into a fascinating discussion about economic indicators and their unexpected impacts, like those on our very own United States Postal Service. Now, if you just thought, the Postal Service? What's the big deal about mail? Trust me, there's more to this story, and it's tied intricately to the pulse of our economy. Let's start with a bit of surprising news. The USPS, an institution as old as the country itself, has recently announced that they are suspending their DFA, or Destination Facility Automation, consolidation plans until January 2025. This might sound like a lot of postal jargon, but here's why it matters. These plans are closely related to optimizing operations and costs, factors heavily influenced by the broader economy. Now, you might wonder, why the sudden pause? Well, this is where understanding economic indicators comes into play. Economic indicators help us gauge the health of the economy, like checking your pulse during a marathon. They include various data points like job numbers, housing stats, and yes, even venture capital trends. Speaking of which, let's segue into another key indicator: venture capital trends. In the first quarter of 2024, these trends provide us a snapshot of investor confidence and where the future of technology and innovation might be heading. When investors pour money into startups, it's a signal they believe in the economic environment and its growth prospects. So, how do these two seemingly disparate threads, the USPS and venture capital trends, intertwine? It's all about confidence and the environment. A vibrant, growing economy often sees increases in both business activities and consumer spending. More packages and letters are shipped, and more services are needed, fueling the need for the USPS to enhance their operations. Conversely, if venture capital is funneling into new tech and startups, it shows a healthy, dynamic economic outlook, which encourages more spending and shipping. But here's the catch. If the USPS is pausing significant operational changes, like the DFA consolidation, it could imply a cautionary step, reflecting broader economic uncertainties, possibly hinted by fluctuating venture capital flows. This pause allows the USPS to operate within a safe margin and adjust based on steadfast, reliable indicators rather than temporary peaks. Understanding these dynamics isn't just about tracking numbers or making predictions. It's about seeing how integral services that touch our everyday lives are deeply interconnected with the global economic environment. It's a web of interdependencies where one thread tugs at the edge of another in surprising ways. This insight into the USPS and venture capital trends offers us a real-time case study on adaptability and forecasting in business practice. Critical skills, not just for CEOs or economists, but for anyone wanting to understand the shifts and turns of our world economy. So the next time you send off a package or receive a mail delivery, think about it not just as a simple post transaction, but as a small part of a larger economic orchestra, each movement finely tuned to play in harmony with the global economy. And that, dear listeners, is how even the humble postal service gives us a window into the health and heartbeat of our broader economic landscape. Stay curious, stay observant, and remember, every small part tells a story in the grand tapestry of our economy. Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive into the riveting world of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Today, we're exploring how these technologies are not just part of science fiction. They're here, transforming the digital landscape right before our eyes. Let's start with a recent revelation from Google. Imagine the internet as an enormous library that's growing exponentially every second. To help us navigate this vast information universe, Google has introduced two new web crawlers. Think of web crawlers as super smart robots that Google uses to scan, or crawl, through websites, grabbing information so that it can be neatly indexed and served up when you or I do a search. Now, the real magic is not just in the crawling, but the sheer scale and sophistication of these AI-driven crawlers. They're designed to understand and categorize web content more effectively than ever. This means when you search for something, the results are becoming increasingly relevant and precise. It's a bit like having a librarian who knows exactly where every single book is located and can fetch it for you in seconds. Now, that's cool, isn't it? But wait, there's more to AI's wonders. Let's pivot to another fascinating development, AI tools that can now convert articles into videos. Pause for a moment and think about that. You find an interesting article online, but instead of reading it, a tool transforms it into a dynamic video. It's as if the article literally leaps out of the screen and unfolds in a visual and audio narration. This technology isn't just a novelty, it's revolutionizing how we consume information. For visual learners, or for those who might find reading challenging, this can be a game changer. It also opens up new dimensions for content creators. They can now produce content in multiple formats efficiently, broadening their audience reach. Imagine you're a blogger. With this tool, you could quickly adapt your written content into a video series, making your insights accessible to more people in the way they prefer to consume media. Now let me put on my theoretical hat for a moment. Both developments, the new Google crawlers and AI video conversion tools, signify a broader trend where AI and machine learning are not merely assisting, but actively shaping our interaction with digital content. They're making the vast, sometimes overwhelming world of internet data more accessible and engaging. In closing, as we ponder these advancements, it's exhilarating to think about what's next. How will these technologies evolve? How will they further change our digital experiences? One thing seems certain. The future is here, and it's powered by AI. Let's continue to explore and discuss, staying curious and informed about these incredible tools that are setting the path of our digital future. Thank you for joining me on this exploration today. Stay tuned and stay inspired by the wonders of technology. Welcome to the digital frontier, where every click, every search, and every upload shapes the vast universe of the internet. Today, we're diving into the heart of this universe, focusing on a titan of technology, Google. Google, a name that has become synonymous not just with search, but with shaping how we interact with online information. Recent developments on this front are setting the stage for some pivotal changes that you and I are likely to notice in our everyday digital interactions. First up, let's talk about site rankings. Google is hinting at major adjustments in its forthcoming update. Now, for those who might wonder why this matters, consider this. Site rankings determine which websites pop up first when you search for something online. This isn't just important for businesses or content creators. It's crucial for us as users too, because it influences the reliability and relevance of the information we access. With Google's upcoming changes, we might start to notice different types of sites rising to prominence. This raises a lot of questions about what these criteria might be. Will smaller, niche sites get more of a spotlight? Or will the big players continue to dominate search results? It's a development that holds the potential to reshape the informational landscape we navigate daily. Moving on, let's turn our attention to a development that's stirring up the waters in the realm of Google Ads. It appears that Google is setting new boundaries by restricting brand names and logos from being generated by AI in ads. Think about the implications here. With the rise of AI-generated content, this move could impact how brands are portrayed online. No more fake or unofficial merchandise being advertised if AI can't use the logos or names without proper authorization. It's a step towards maintaining brand integrity, but it could also change how creative and flexible advertisers can be with their campaigns. Will this lead to more authentic, trustworthy ads, or could it stifle creative expression? Only time will tell. Lastly, a groundbreaking court ruling has just added another layer of complexity to Google's operations. The court dealing with Google's AI overviews, translating into what some are calling theft, is indeed a precedent setter. If Google AI pulls content from various sites to create summaries or compilations, does this infringe on the original content creator's rights? This ruling could lead to significant shifts in how content is aggregated and utilized online, impacting everything from news sites to educational resources. Each of these developments tells a story of changing landscapes, not just digital or technological landscapes, but ethical, creative, and informational ones as well. As we navigate these changes, it's crucial to stay informed and consider how they affect not only what we see online, but how we see the world. So, what do you think? How will these changes impact your experience online? Do you think these developments are moving us towards a more accurate and reliable digital world? Or are we stepping into more controlled, less creative cyberspace? Let's keep our eyes on this digital horizon and find out together. Stay curious, stay informed, and until next time, keep tuning in to explore the fascinating world of technology with us. Thank you for joining today's episode. Well, folks, that wraps up our chat for today and marks the closure of week 21 here at the Checkout Point by Blickit.co. I'm your host, Max, and I hope today's segments left you with some valuable insights into the ever-evolving world of e-commerce. We kicked things off by discussing the policy changes at major platforms like Amazon and Mercari and how these could affect small business owners. It's a shifting landscape out there, and staying informed is key to navigating it successfully. Then, we dove into the complex world of financial transactions, touching on how companies like Mastercard and Avalara are working to make online shopping smoother and more reliable. These behind-the-scenes mechanics are crucial for both businesses and consumers. We also analyzed how economic indicators influence entities like the United States Postal Service and what these shifts say about the overall health of the economy. It's fascinating to see how interconnected everything is, from mail delivery to global economic trends. Of course, we couldn't miss talking about the cutting-edge technologies reshaping our digital experiences. From AI-driven web crawlers to innovative tools transforming written content into engaging videos, the digital landscape is certainly getting an exciting makeover. Finally, we delved into Google's latest moves and how changes in site rankings and AI regulations could impact our online interactions. It's a reminder of how digital shifts can ripple out to affect us all. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Checkout Point. Be sure to join us next week for more updates on e-commerce trends, news, and strategies. And don't forget to visit Blickit.co for even more resources and information to keep you at the top of your game. See you next week, and keep checking out all the possibilities.